Once everyone's got to a kind of the point before they're finishing up, just let me know and we'll kick things off for today. Everyone knows that in different ways. This is special.
Yeah, right. That was. Yeah. That'd be cool. That person. Okay.
So there's always one that's right now. So guys, before we kick off officially, I'd just like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather, the Original Wild people of the Bundjalung Nation. Pay my respects to the elders who have gone before us, who have preserved that level of knowledge and wisdom that is associated with the culture of this land and more broadly with Indigenous cultures across the country and across the world, and the current elders who still hold that for us today. Pay my respects to Indigenous people who have joined us here today, and also the young people in the schools who I look at as emerging elders who one day take on that baton and see how they can progress the situation, given the hard work that people have done to get the baton to them where they're at right now. So I'd also like to extend the respect to non-Indigenous staff who made the time to be with us here today, and your ancestors as well from other parts of the world, because I think each of us has a story which is very rich and very meaningful. And the fact that whatever people have done for each of us as individuals has brought us here today is pretty special. So not to neglect that, and just to know that it's really important that coming together and seeing reconciliation happen live in front of us day in, day out is far more important than some of the lip service that happens at the top levels of government around the country. So there's one word I think for me that really personalises acknowledgement of country, and for me the idea of custodianship over something, and how sort of humbling it is to think that all the stuff we have, whether it's my precious pair of Nike shoes or new four-wheel drive, second-hand, but new four-wheel drive I got, which I'm excited to take on the beach at some stage over summer, all that stuff is neither here nor there. I don't get to take any of that with me, and what will live on after me is my memory. So how I leave the world, how I impact the lives of people I'm lucky enough to have in my life the time I'm here, and that sort of idea that in the grand scheme of things, none of us are that important, but just to know that the time we do have, we can make a huge difference. So sort of juxtaposition of ideas there. I'll leave that with you for now anyway, and just want to say Google Bear straight off the bat, I'm working on my Bundjalung. It's got a long way to go, but thank you for being here representing your schools. Each of you are champions of Indigenous success in terms of the work you do, and we're so appreciative to have your support. I'll speak a bit more about that before we finish up. Awesome, guys. I'm going to try a quick intro video and get into some activities.
So you've had a pretty interesting journey to find your way sitting in your own headquarters.
Shame is something that holds our people back from reaching their full potential.
And success is you decided.
One of the things that President Mandela was crystal clear was that education is the answer to a better future and a better life.
welcome to our 2018 Principals Roundtable. My name's Jack and I'm the founder and CEO of AIM and started it 14 years ago. And I wanted to start by thanking all of you as bosses of the schools that we work with for believing in Indigenous kids and believing we can actually see a brighter day where these kids are achieving equally alongside the rest of our Australian population. So today we're going to try and do a bunch of things in true AIM style. We're going to move quickly and move through a variety of different activities and try and make this 1 hour block feel as much like it does on a program day when kids come onto the program campus. So I host our program days and then we throw into a bunch of different activities and that's exactly what we're about to do. But before we get into that, I want you to know that our most important takeout from today is that you live with a feeling, and that feeling is one of hope. And one that you believe in the positivity of what we're trying to do and hopefully can take some of that energy and that kindness back into your schools and back into your classrooms. So let's do a quick recap on what AIM is and what we actually offer schools all around Australia and offer you guys. So we've been operating for 14 years around Australia, building bridges between university and high school. And those bridges are mentoring bridges. On those bridges, there's 2 lanes. One of those lanes features a bunch of beaten up old cars, Datsun 180Bs and Ford Festivas driving across it, filled with university students who come out to your schools and deliver free tutoring. That's for our tutor squad program. And we're happy to try and do that for schools within half an hour to an hour of the university campus and try and make as many of those come to life as possible. The other lane features school buses which come onto the university campus. And on that university campus, we deliver 45 workshops on top of the high schooling experience from age 12 through to 18 for the kids. We support them to think about what identity means, to shift their mindset from one where they see their identity as a reason for failure and then flip it to being a reason for success. And continually build up their resilience and their understanding of the world around them so they can unlock the magic of learning and see pride in their identity. By the end of the program, we then support the kids to transition through into university employment or further training. The work that we're picking up right now that Year 12 kids have finished and we're working with your schools to try and follow up and hustle those Year 12 kids and then connect them with our corporate partners, with the universities, or any other place we can land them into a positive pathway. The X factor for AIM has been that over the last 7, 8+ years since we've been tracking the school data, kids have transitioned from high school, from Year 12, through to university employment or further training at the same rate as every Australian kid. So if you're Indigenous between the age of 18 to 25, 40% are in employment, university or further training. If you're not Indigenous, that number is 75%. For the last 6 or 7 years, our kids have gone from Year 12 through to university employment and further training at 76%, 75%, 78%, 74%, effectively closing that educational gap. And that's the work we've been doing together. So we're as committed as ever to ripping to make this thing work bigger and better than ever in 2018. There's plenty we can learn and improve on. We can be better with our delivery of what we offer for Year 11 and 12 students, and we're going to try and make that even more impactful by bringing the Year 11 and 12 kids onto the university campus in term 2. We can be more efficient and more effective with what we offer in terms of tutor squads, and we're going to try and do that and be more present in your schools than ever before. I also want you guys to know that we're a resource for you. So if you want extra support at school assemblies, you want us to come out and run some extra leadership activities, we're super keen to be as engaged in the school as humanly possible. And the big thing we want to try and push is that these kids pick up the leadership baton of being mentors themselves. That hopefully there's a day in the not too distant future where AIM's not needed anymore because a grade 7 Indigenous kid turns up to your schools and looks to the Year 12 kids and suddenly there's an Indigenous school captain, there's a bunch of Indigenous role models and they know what their future looks like and it mirrors the future of the rest of the Australian population. So one by one we'll do our job together and we'll try and do ourselves out of a job. Okay, that's enough of me talking. I've done the preamble. Let's jump into activity time. So for the next 15 minutes, there's a few different stations going on. If you've signed your own contract already for next year, then you've done your homework and you get to jump straight to the fun activities. For those of you that haven't signed your contract, we're going to do your homework. So the first station will be sitting around the table where you are for those of you that haven't signed onto the AIM contract, and one of our AIM staff members will be there to answer any questions you've got. And then you can sign the contract and commit to working together for next year. Then one of the other stations we've got is a shredder, where you're going to be able to shred your negative perceptions around Indigenous kids. So I'm sure many of you, if not all of you, have had at least one experience with an Indigenous kid which hasn't been too positive. I know I have in the 14 years of running this program. So what we're going to do is write down one of those experiences or one of the stereotypes you've heard teachers say or maybe you've experienced in your time, and we're going to shred that stereotype. So that's one of the stations. Next one is we've got a video camera, and we want to try and get all of you on camera answering the question, what makes a good mentor? Then the final station we've got for you guys is to be able to rotate from the shredder, and then you've got the video station. And the final one, we're going to give you a special opportunity to be a part of playing a video game that's been designed by Indigenous kids called Second Chances, which we just released this year for our Year 7 and 8 kids to make maths and science cool. So you get to play some video games, you get to do some shredding, and you'll get to be a TV star yourself once you've nailed your contract. So that's it. We'll jump into activity time. There might be a DJ in the room, which will add some atmosphere, and that's what we generally do on those program days as well. So that's it for me. I'll be back a little bit later on to guide through the next activity. Thanks a lot for coming on, and speak to you shortly.
So we're going to get you guys to live the experience of what it's like to be an AIM day, the same way we would do with our kids. So I think sometimes it's good to remind ourselves that we're just big kids at heart and give you guys a space to sort of, move around the room and have a bit of fun and choose your own adventure, because that's what we do with a lot of the mentees who come onto campus. The experience starts with the room you guys are in and the space you guys are in. This is called the Enterprise Lab. I think we're actually in the workshop room if we're going to go down to nitty-gritty detail. But I was speaking to some of the other staff who arrived a bit earlier, and this space was originally set up as an incubator and a way of supporting small to medium enterprise, whether that's someone coming through university or someone who's been around the block a few years and wants to get a bit more knowledge about setting up business. The partnership with Southern Cross University as a whole with AIM has been great, but we've also partnered with the engagement team who set up this space to have priority access to this space for all AIM days, whether it's Year 7s who came this year for the first time, or our Year 12s next year will be finishing up with us. We'll be hosting the program days in what is now the marquee space here at the university, which I think is a big part of the program which we don't really talk about, the idea that through experiencing these spaces, the students understand that they're worthy, they understand that we value them and that we support them. So it's really exciting times to be working for AIM, but also to be a mentee. Some of your students will be able to hopefully experience this throughout their own journey and really make the most of it. So I'll quickly recap the activities available for you guys. I have a couple of iPads in the middle of the table. On the taskbar at the bottom of the iPad there's a game loaded up called Second Chances. So it does take a while to load, so even if you want to get back to it, you can hit load on that and then go to one of the other activities and come back. That was designed by Year 8 mentees from our program in 2015. They pitched their ideas to game makers as part of our Google Impact Challenge, and the game has now been made. We tested it with students across the country as part of our Year 8, 7 and 8 program day. We want to give you guys a chance to have a go as well. The idea was to make maths and science interesting and engaging for high school kids. I think it's a really important kind of battle we're all fighting across the board there. The contract piece, I've sent links out to all the bosses. I'll keep reminding them between now and the end of the year. We'll also be following up in the new year. So we'll leave that one for now, but if you do have any questions about the agreements, please, I'm around, just grab me with the other chat. If you'd like to discuss something in private, or we can just chat as a group if needs to be at the table. Then there were two other opportunities to take part in today. We've got a shredding station over there, so if you have any negative perceptions of Indigenous kids, or it might be like a negative stereotype joke you've heard once upon a time, write it down on the paper. Get it out, because that stuff happens. Let's acknowledge it, let's be real about it, and take it over there, and as you look out over this beautiful country, the Bungeline country here, chuck it in that manual shredder just on the bench over there, and give it its due process, and blast it to 2 million pieces, because I think as these students I work with step up and take on the mantle as the next generation of Indigenous, not just young people, but Indigenous leaders across the country, I think whatever stereotypes are left, that's exactly what's going to happen to them. They're going to be smashed and obliterated into 2 million pieces, never to be seen again. That's I get tingles just saying that kind of stuff, because I generally believe it, and I know you guys do too. That's why we're here. Any questions at this stage? Cool. I'll put some more tunes on as a bit of a distraction. It is choose your own adventure time, guys, so please feel free to grab me if you have any questions. The last piece before I forgot is I can film you guys in front of the AIM banner here with a few ideas of what makes a good mentor. Feel free to write a few notes or compose your answer first, and I can grab anyone up one at a time and just shoot them on my fancy Android phone, which takes pretty good video. Thanks, guys.
And do all the things you want me to. I just wanna be close to
I would say that was.
you. Give me my love, go. Give me my love, go. Give me my love, go.
Said I'd be gone by 5. It's sunrise and I'm still in your bed. Good night usually means goodbye. We replaying memories in my head. Look at you, look what you made me do. How do you think of my every move? Who are you, you look so familiar. I'm you, baby, I know the truth. We got way too much in common. Only in the morning. We got way too much in common. So me in the morning. You who wants to know somebody like me? You want to know somebody like me? If you can know somebody like me, you must be Mr. Who wants to know somebody like me? You want to know somebody like me? If you can know somebody like me, you must be Mr. We used to talk till midnight. All those days that you stayed at my house. We were just passing the time. We were young and we ain't had no vows. Now, maybe they didn't want to touch you. Maybe I was out. We both know we had no patience. Every day and night. Getting high on our supply. Yeah, we ain't satisfied. I can love you for all occasions. We got way too much in common. Only in the morning. We got way too much in common. So me in the morning. Yeah, who wants to know somebody like me? You want to know somebody like me? If you can know somebody like me, you must be Mr. Who wants to know somebody like me? You want to know somebody like me? If you can know somebody like me, you must be Mr. We got way too much in common. Only in the morning. We got way too much in common. Only in the morning. Yeah, who wants to know somebody like me? You want to know somebody like me? If you can know somebody like me, you must be Mr. Who wants to know somebody like me? You want to know somebody like me? If you can know somebody like me, you must be Mr.
Sorry, I ain't got no money. I'm not trying to be funny, but I left it all at home today. You can call me what you wanna. I ain't giving you $1 this time. I ain't gonna run away. You might knock me down, you might knock me down, but I will get back up again. You can call it how you wanna. I ain't giving you $1 this time. I ain't gonna run away. This time I ain't gonna run. ain't got no money, I'm not trying to be funny, but I left it all at home today. You can call me what you wanna, I ain't giving you $1 this time, I ain't gonna run away. You might knock me down, you might knock me down, but I will get back up again. You can call it how you wanna, I ain't giving you $1 this time, I ain't gonna run away, run away, run away. This time I ain't gonna run.
So I'm about to break my number one rule of good educating, and that's to distract people while they're engaged in the tasks you've given them. So don't do what I do. Get back to your schools, please. But there was one part of this activity which I didn't mention to you guys just a minute ago. If you look over to this other side of the room, you see a couple of boards here that say brave goals. And one of the activities we asked the students to take part in this year was to set themselves a brave goal. So that was bold, it was risky, it was absolute, that was the V escapes me, and the E visionary, and the E endless. So rather than your SMART goal, the specific, measurable, achievable, yada yada yada, we believe in brave goals here at AIM. Really aim high on a missile if you're going to, but have a proper crack. If you guys want to have a look, you might see some of your students' names and their goals up there, which would be pretty exciting to do as well. I've got this activity time scheduled in our block. And there's also a little kind of empty cookie jar in the middle, but I'm going to call it my dream jar rather than a cookie jar. And an extension of the activities which we outlined before is, if you've gotten through a few of the other bits and pieces, we'd like you guys just to write down what you might dream of in terms of a future for Indigenous Australia. That can be from a personal perspective, it could be from an educational perspective. Obviously, you're going to be learn line there, given the field in which you work in. The one I've written here is, I dream of a future where Indigenous cultural intelligence is valued within our society as a whole, and learning about it or gaining the required knowledge is mandated in curricula across the country. So whatever comes to mind for you guys, please feel free to throw it in my dream jar. It's much better for me to read these than eat cookies, so we'll probably be doing both later today if you don't get some more of that morning tea into you. Otherwise, please carry on with the activities, and if anyone wants to be my first victim, star of AIM TV Principal Roundtables edition, please put your hand up and we can do some recording. Thanks again. Any takers for a chance to claim the spotlight? We have actually a recording studio just around the corner of us. / another workroom that I've managed to arrange with. I'll just have to start picking people. For the volunteer. You're just like a name though. Did you say no shame at name?
Boys seem to like the girls who love bad things. The ones who get on boys before they see day. Girls seem to like boys who don't appreciate all in the town that will be fly as mother. Got my both guys out for Mr. Rap. Guessing I just don't know where to find them. But I hope they all come out now. Wait on the good boys, go. Hide away, I'm good, go. Easily confident, I get up and up. Someone be no way to the good boys, go. Hide away. Boys seem to like the girls, like the tough. Talking is what the back thinks it do for us. I want to find one with some fun choice. In the town that you'll be fly as mother.
And just throw last names. There was one at Devonport, it's excellent gold medalist. So she won, was part of the relay team in Beijing, 2008. She got a gold medal with her. She said those kids, talked about how she missed out by 200 to the second first Olympics and missed out again. And she was like, this was sort of in her teens and early 20s. So she was 28 or something, or 26 when she was at Beijing and she won the gold. And she said to the kids actually climbing that mountain, getting to the top was just the start. She's been since and the communities and uses her influence just for all others, and that's what's given her a lot more satisfaction than taking off that sort of, she said it was all ego up until that point. And it's just the difference afterwards was the most satisfying. So well, that was really cool. The music stopped. So it's someone's chance to come on, mate. Right, I know you want to do it. You're going to take it next door, Craig. I know you want to do it. We'll get the others going with their shredding and their video games. That's what the kids will play video games. Good.
Hoping I would find true love among the broken road. But I got no stakes high, wipe my brow, kept pushing. I couldn't see how every sign pointed straight to you. Every long street led me to where you are. None of us who broke my heart. They were like no other stars, pulling me on my way into your loving arms. This much I know is true. That God bless the broken road and let me straight. Yes, I think about the years I spent just passing through.
So different than anything else I have. Yeah, hopefully it's sort of a bit of a ripple down. That's great. Who's up next before you sit down, Jeff? You
No, I knew you were
I'm next door. Emily next door.
It's all part of the brand new that is coming true. Every street led me to where you are. Now the truth broke my heart. They were like northern stars, pointing me on my way into your loving arms. This much I know is that God bless the broken road and let me straight to you. Now I'm just rolling home into another song. This much I know is true. God bless the broken road and let me straight to you. That God bless the broken road that let me straight to you. Bring back 2 glass tips and kids. That's just a little too long. Baby, bring on the
Sorry.
little small town attitude. Makes me feel right at home. Come on, your home sleep. That makeup that you don't need. That angel that you don't see. When you look in the mirror. Bring your future, bring your past. Bring your skirt to fall too fast. All those perfect imperfections. Bring that girl I got. Bring the fire, bring the storm. All the love that I got. Bring it out. Everything you have, girl, I want it all. Put your hand in me, hold your heart, baby, let me see everything you are. Everything you are.
You guys as teachers, please. Fire guys, you know, your fire service can have a session here or whatever else. Oh, another volunteer. Yeah, Victor. Yeah. Just think we keep part of that.
She wants to get married. She wants it perfect. She wants a granddaddy preaching the service. She wants my girls out in the country. Not too many people save her daddy some money. Ooh, she got it all planned out. Yeah, I can see it all right now. I'll wear my black suit, black tie, out in the back. I'll do a strong shot of whiskey, straight out the flats. I'll try to make it through that crowd, so nobody sees. She gonna get married. She don't wanna marry me. I remember the night I almost kissed her. I kinda freaked out. We were friends for
Kids aren't fighting over the iPads too much. Anyone getting the turn? No? Just joking. Who's left? There you go.
Daddy's been trading this day.
Take it hard, yeah.
Giving her away my straight out the flats. I'm trying to make it through that crowd, so nobody sees. She gonna get married. She gonna marry me. She got on a dress now, in the years now. I can try to find her, get off the chest now, but I ain't gonna mess it up. It's only self-defense now. So I'm in my black suit, black tie, out in the back, doing a strong shot of whiskey, straight out the flats. I try to make it through it, I'm crying so nobody sees. Is she gonna get married? Is she gonna get married? Is she gonna marry me? Oh, she gonna marry me. Oh.
Not so much about the notion of someone being a teacher, but the idea of people being educators, so wanting to pass on knowledge. She's a big thing of shared knowledge. So you often get great educators who don't know industries. They might be working as managers or in training roles. Very rarely sort of compliance with all, but each their own. You know, once you sort of have a natural ability to sort of decode things for others, and bring people on their sort of, yeah, I wish. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I spent most
One to
of
go,
the
eh?
next week.
Ready?
You had the X-ray. Talk about the options. Talk about the speed. I still when it's safe here. It's about really real. Can you get that kind of view? Man, what you do? He said, I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 1 seconds on the four-lane vacation, and I dug deeper, I spoke sweeter, I gave forgiveness, I've been denying. And he said, someday I hope you get a chance to live like you were dying. He said, I was trying to be the husband. Most of the time I wasn't. I became a friend a friend would like to have. And all of a sudden, going fishing wasn't such an imposition. And I went 3 times that year, I lost my dad. I read the good book and I took a good long hard look at what I do if I could do it all again. I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on the four-lane vacation, and I dug deeper, I spoke sweeter, I gave forgiveness, I denied. And he said, someday I hope you get a chance to live like you were dying. Tomorrow was forgiven, and God eternity. Think about what you do with it. What did you do with it? What did I do with it? What did I do with it? Skydiving, Rocky Mountain climbing, I went 2.7 seconds on the four-lane vacation, and I dug deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I watched the people as it was crying. And he said, someday I hope you get a chance to live like you were dying. 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 We didn't come here just for a free beer. Came and put some jaws on the ground, turn this place upside down. Standing out on the dance floor, song stops and I want more. Your eyes lock into mine, Lord, help me with that. 'Cause I know I'm going to fall for you. Start talking and you lean in. I'll be in the deep end. I wanna kiss your lips, there's no way I
Yeah, it's not what we actually biologically were designed to do. Not what the first nervous thing around mental health and prevalence is. House right up, it's because of the case which respect our minds, operating the density of communication methods, and the constancy of them. Kind of evolved in the same time frame, like that's it. Anyway, that's my thing. I'm more like celebration and yeah, let's try to do a bit of fun free time most weeks. Saturday, Sunday, 6 hour block. I turn it on the night before and then just after lunch and Tuesday. Finding Isabel a lot of 2 hours a night. That's had everything off. Yeah. I'm lots of stuff. Any other dreams, guys, for the dream jar? Or any other negative stereotypes? It's nice to have them on opposite sides of the room, isn't it? Something for keeping and something for composting. No takers? Just before we move on as well, I've got a couple of these from our 2016 annual story, which you're welcome to take for the school as well. Feel free to take a few copies if needs be, but we're collecting our end of year data at the moment, which will be broadcast as part of our 2017 annual story and annual report in March next year. And I'll make sure you guys get invitations for the event on the campus. Just a minute. I'll lay that in and get going with the show.
I got the right. Smells like summertime, day feels just like I got step way out to sea.
So guys, for the next activity, I was actually asked to share with you guys some stories of the students who excelled in our program, but we actually made a little video for our end of year celebration, which we're going to share with you guys, and you'll hopefully see some of the students who are from your schools and how they've engaged in the program and give you a bit of insight into what that looks like when we're shifting mindsets, when we're creating environments where the students are encouraged to be themselves rather than to conform to a norm. So I hope you like it. It does run on 5 minutes, so I appreciate your patience. Sometimes it can be more engaging than having me talk in my voice, which you've been hearing quite a lot today as well. So I really do hope you like it. And give it a run.
Okay, I'm gonna get that go and make it drop, brother.
You got different perceptions on the road you can get us. If you go out there on lights, we learn to fly. It's a take down, sit down, learn to listen. I'm coping on a bed, a rigid misfit. It started off a long day, cruising down the highway, looking up and down just to find another man. Running around the door, looking for an apple, open up and down with the side. Now I'm back in the shop, and I see to my friends, in the class, looking for broken thread. Was I meant to be? I was starting with them, because I don't give a shit, I just go to them. Last day, I thought I heard about the truth, wasn't living in the world, from up in the sky. I'll give it to you, man, if you want the Lord, because it doesn't really matter when it is far from you. Yeah!
Come
So, but then I decided to move back down here in Lismore. I'm now attending St. John's Catholic College. I've made such a great reputation at my school. I've got great mates, and I've come a long way to who I am now. I'm so blessed to have the second opportunity again. I wake up every morning feeling happy and humble, and blessed to go to such a great school and see such beautiful, amazing people that care about me and want to see me do good. But I don't do it just for myself, I do it for my family and other young Indigenous people from my community. I just want to prove to them that no mistake is ever too great to recover and bounce back.
Let's go down to the tennis court and talk it up like yeah. And talk it up like yeah. And talk it up like yeah. Let's go down to the tennis court and talk it up like yeah.
So we're going to go straight into another video.
I can tell you this bought a four-wheel drive.
What's that?
Your playlist on the side.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Everyone's bold.
No, there's no hiding anything from YouTube and Gmail these days, is there? Just before we go on to the next video, I think, you know, that clip of Kalis from St. John's making his speech was something that in my 3 years at AIM, when I sat down with the mentors afterwards, I said it just reminded me that, you know, none of us know what to expect. And whatever expectation, even my own very high expectations of these kids, like, even that is a ceiling. But sometimes, you know, like, it's not just people putting these low expectation ceilings on them, but sometimes even, you know, us who believe, it can be guilty of, like, setting a ceiling. So the idea of dreaming for the future is because of days like that, where everyone in the room was quite emotional just to see him tap into his emotion. And that's just one of many highlights through the year. I know Amber made a brilliant speech around the year as well, and the huge success story is the design on the hoodies this year, which has come from a small town on the coast called Everthead, and those hoodies are all around the world now. And these kids are capable of things that people can't even dream of. So really excited to be on the journey with you guys, and I'll introduce the next part of AIM, or Jack will be doing the introductions around another part of our program called AIM-TV.
When your kids come onto the university campus and go through our theatre of education module, you'll be seeing some overlay footage of that now, and what happens is each one of those hour blocks is really simply played out. And the spine of it is a thing called AIM-TV, which we'll throw to a little bit of a teaser of now, which features mentors speaking truth around the world and allows us to open up these kids' minds to all of this different wisdom across the globe. Here's a bit of an example of it. Yeah. And after we've done AIM-TV, we throw to activities like what we've just experienced together as a group. And then finally, the last 20 minutes of every 1 hour module that we deliver is a thing called failure time, where we get the kids to rotate around different workshops and different opportunities of learning within that university environment. Generally, it's run by our mentors, potentially we get local elders in, so a failure time experience could be, a kid rotating for 3 minutes to fail for the first time at learning their local Indigenous language, and then it can be going to learn ancient Greek stories and Greek mythology from a 70-year-old Greek Australian mentor, and then you can be going and learning the latest Justin Bieber dance, trying out your fingernail painting, whatever it might be. We're trying to push the kids out of that comfort zone so they learn to fail hard and fail fast. And by doing so, we shatter that concept of shame, which holds so many kids who are disadvantaged back. So what we're going to do right now is you guys are going to have the chance to run your very own failure time opportunity. So you have to use what you've got within you. There's no extra resources allowed. It's just what you've got in your mind, your imagination, and your hand. So whichever one of the principals want to jump up straight away after this video and then do failure time, one of our staff mentors is going to lead that and kickstart it, and we'll do 2 or 3 so you get a sense of what failure time looks like in the room. We'll rotate through that for 5 or 10 minutes and we'll come back and wrap up the workshop. All right, how do you guys enjoy failure time?
Okay, could I get all of you guys to hop up and stand just in front of the screen facing this way? So I'll kick off the first failure time, and this is something which we've done throughout the year. Like Jack said, sometimes you've got to break a few eggs to make an omelette. That's one of my favourite sayings. But also, it's okay to pick yourself up. It's okay to fail as long as you can get yourself up again. So what I'd like you guys to do, get in a group in the middle. I'm going to shout out either an object or some kind of physical image or scenery, and I want you guys to act it out using nothing else other than your body. As a group? As a group. As a group. Does that make sense? Any questions? It's okay to fail. It's just like an AIM session. And yeah, we are filming it, but that is just like an AIM session too. So that's cool. We're allowed to talk. You're allowed to talk amongst yourselves? Yeah, and a bit of directing, that's all good. So the first one, there's Sydney Opera House. Let's see it. Go. As a group, let's see Sydney Opera House.
I think we need to go.
Things.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Okay. Any of you guys like cricket? Okay, let's wind back to the SCG room as a young fellow going to see a game. But imagine you guys are the crowd on the hill at a day-night one-dayer with plenty of time to enjoy yourselves and get into a relaxed frame of mind. So acting out the scene of...
That's not necessarily acting.
acting out the scene of the crowd at the cricket match. Go.
I'll be on the ground.
On the hill, it's on the hill.
Yeah, it's on
Back in the day.
Can you believe this?
Get off. Okay, good. We're going to do one more, guys. So, I saw a documentary not long ago about David Attenborough's first trip to Australia. I want you guys to imagine David Attenborough looking out over the Australian outback, and feel free to act out any of the animals. They might not be in this one camera shot, but today we're going to put them all in the same camera shot. Any animals from the Australian outback. Go. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, great. So, I'm happy to sub out with somebody. If you can think of another activity, I'm going to give 1 or 2 or 3 of you if you'd like a chance to step up and lead a failure to an activity, which is what we do with our mentors who volunteer their time. Does anyone feel like they could come up with an idea of something for us to do together as a group? Can be really simple, could be... Okay, where we go? We're jumping in. What have we got? Okay, you've got to be an aeroplane taking off. All together? Yeah. I'll be there.
Are we taking off?
Oh, you can put it on. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I got the wrong angle. I'm the, whatever, people are sitting there.
Awesome. Okay, next.
It's going that way.
Does anyone else want to come up with one for the rest of the group?
Gee.
You got another one for us, Eli?
Oh, I got one. Okay. Okay. At the beach swimming, but there's a shark. Hey, get out of here! Okay.
Brilliant, guys. I'm conscious of the time. We've got one more video before we finish up, so you please grab a seat. Thank you for indulging me in our time. Oh, that's shame my serious facade.
Symbols matter. So as you leave today, my gift to you guys, beyond the work we're going to do together for these kids and for your school and for the wider community that we work in, is I want to gift you all an 8 hoodie. Because the symbol that stands for is a symbol of fighting for equality and fighting for fairness and standing up to be mentors for a fairer world. When your kids see you wearing this around the playground, that's one simple statement to say to them, hey, I believe in you, I'm working with you. Not only now does that symbol stand for that pride and that success in Australia, but as of 2018 as well, we're going to actually be sharing this model around the world in Uganda, in South Africa, and in Canada. Because of the success of the work that we've been doing building bridges with schools like you guys around Australia, the model has now gone all around the world. And I'm currently in some thermal temperatures on rooftop in New York, and I can tell you that it's definitely gone global, and I'm definitely freezing. And we'd like to be back in Australia's summer at the moment. But yeah, our global dream is the same dream that we have for these kids, that we can continue to light up people's imaginations, and we'll continue to fight as hard as possible to work for fairness and equality. So to finish today, I wanted to leave you with a couple of quick videos. One's a 50-second or so piece reflecting on what we see AIM is as a group, including some of our new global friends, and announcing where AIM is going and heading to. And the final one is an animation that's been made by an Oscar Award winner to summarise what our work stands for. So that's it. We're starting to go cross-party. Thank you for working with us, guys, and can't wait to continue to do good work together in 2018. Please put us to work. Get us into your school classrooms. Get us into your assemblies. We're happy to come and do as much as humanly possible. Get our tutors in there working with you. We want to get to work and work with you to make this as easy as possible and light up those kids' imaginations. Let's get fighting for a fairer world and being great educators. Good on you all. Thank you so much for coming on today. Bye. I'm out. I'm going to go have a shower. Bye.
If we want to change the world, we have to change the way it works.
We have to take the time to look each other in the eye
And tell the truth.
and use the power of one-on-one to help kids help themselves.
And it works.
So 12 months ago, we set out on a quest
To take this idea around the world. To find young leaders ready to rise up.
To do what we do, we value. We are ready to take this on.
We will take aim to the world.
We are mentors for a fairer world.
I already knew you for a while. Taking thought to cure pain. Every second inside my every minute means a day. I hope you're walking in the sun. Hope you're going to be someone. Here I am along my way. I always dreamt that one day I would find you on my way. Maybe one day, maybe today.
Is that on YouTube or is it available?
Yeah, so all the content from today is online as part of that feeder of education. I can share or sort of just revamp out the link for that if you wanted to show any of the other staff or the bosses back at the school. I'll send that out as part of an extra reminder. The videos as well, some of the stuff might be able to like dig out more individually, which could be accessible as well. Guys, thank you. Just a little bit again from the bottom of my heart for making the time to be here. I think there's two very powerful things in life, the willingness to dream and the ability to believe in something. And when you put those two things together, that's where magic happens. So I believe that's what we do at Avatar, standing here, and it's not, you know, I get myself up every morning and I just am so grateful for you guys being able to do your part, because we can't do it without you. So without further ado, better follow through on Jack's promise there. We come back to the back of the room here. I've got some goodies for you guys to say thank you. And don't worry about going back to school with one and seeing the regular contact teachers line up. And I'm like, oh no, I've been going all week here. I've got some for them as well, which I'll drop around as thank you presents, and as well for the kids from year 9 and 10 who came to 5 out of 5 program days. I've been out to Evans already, but I'll be coming out to Austinville next week, and I'll send another reminder out if I came out to other schools as well between now and the end of the year. At least drop them off, even if we can't do a full presentation. So cheers, guys. Thanks again.
Thank you.